Today, we're going to walk through a rational, step-by-step argument for a really profound idea, that for life's most important journey, we might actually need a divinely appointed guide.
You know, it all starts with the biggest question there is, the one that sooner or later everyone asks themselves. Why am I here? What's this all for? And what happens after this?
There's this incredible saying that really gives us a framework. To figure out the why, you have to know three things: where you started, where you are right now, and where you're headed. This is going to be our roadmap for today. Okay, so let's start with the first big premise. Your entire approach to life, everything you do, really depends on one core belief. Is this life it, or is this just the very beginning of something infinite?
Think about it like this. Imagine someone hands you $1 billion. If they say you've got 24 hours to spend it, you're going to go wild, right? You'll buy everything in sight. But what if they say you have to make that billion last for the next 10 years? Your whole mindset changes instantly. You're not just spending, you're planning, you're investing, you're protecting it. The timeline changes everything. Now, let's apply that exact same logic to our lives. If you believe you've only got about 80 years, well, it makes sense to focus on what you can get done in that time: worldly success, temporary goals. But if you believe you have an eternity waiting for you, this life suddenly looks very different. It becomes the ultimate investment opportunity, where every single action is weighed by its eternal impact.
And here's the thing that really drives this point home. Just look at us. Human beings have this bottomless appetite for growth. You could master a dozen skills, learn 100 languages, and you'd still want more. Our potential feels limitless. It's like God built a car designed to run for 1,000,000 miles, but only gave us a one-day road trip. It doesn't quite add up. Our potential suggests we were built for a much, much longer journey. Okay, so if we're on board with this idea of an eternal journey, we immediately slam into a massive problem. We're heading to a destination, the afterlife, but we have no map. None of us have been there. We have zero firsthand knowledge of what it's like or how to properly prepare for it. And check this out. This quote is from Avicenna, who was, without a doubt, one of the most brilliant minds in all of human history. A genius philosopher, scientist, you name it. And even he admitted, look, my brain can prove that an afterlife has to exist. It's logical. But as for what it's actually like, he said, I know nothing. The only reason I accept the details is because the prophet, the most truthful one, told us.
So here's the logical conclusion. If a once-in-a-generation genius like Avicenna couldn't map out the next life using just his intellect, what chance do the rest of us have? It seems reason itself points to one solution. We need a guide, not just any guide, but someone who's been given the map from the one who actually created the destination. So, what kind of qualifications would this guide need? We're not talking about just a good person or a smart scholar. For a journey with eternal stakes, the guide needs to have some pretty unique, divinely given credentials. Let's look at the two big ones. First up is something called isma, or infallibility. This means the guide has to be divinely protected from making any mistake or committing any sin. Why is that so crucial? Well, think about it. If you're following a map to an eternal paradise, even one tiny wrong turn could have infinite consequences. The directions have to be absolutely flawless. And the second qualification is ilm laduni, which basically means divinely given knowledge. This isn't knowledge you get from reading books or going to school. This is knowledge that comes straight from the source, straight from God. The guide knows the way, not because they figured it out, but because they were told the way.
And this is why, according to this line of reasoning, no one else really qualifies. Your best friend, the kindest person you know, can still make a mistake. The most brilliant scholar in the world is still limited by human knowledge. A philosopher can only reason about the world they can see. This isn't a role you can earn through good deeds. It's a divine appointment that comes with these two essential God-given tools.
Okay, so this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. This guide has a super important practical job to do right here on Earth. They serve as the final authority, the one who can settle disputes and make sure the religion doesn't splinter into 1,000 different interpretations. Let's look at a perfect, real-world example from the Quran. The verse gives a clear command for dealing with theft: cut off the hand. Seems straightforward enough, right? But it's not. The moment you try to apply this law, you hit a wall. What exactly does the hand mean? The Arabic word for it could mean just the fingers. It could mean up to the wrist. It could even mean the entire arm up to the shoulder. Human reason alone can't give you the one correct answer. So what do you do? This is where the divinely guided Imam comes in. He provides the definitive answer. He clarifies that the punishment is only for the 4 fingers, and the reason he gives is beautiful. He explains that the palm of the hand is what you use to prostrate in prayer, and that the right to worship, belongs to God, so it must be preserved. It's a solution that human intellect alone would likely never arrive at.
And that's the job in a nutshell. The Imam acts as the final word. He's the ultimate authority who prevents God's law from getting twisted by human guesswork and endless debate. He makes sure everyone is on the same page, practicing the religion as it was truly intended.
At the end of the day, this whole argument really boils down to a simple principle we use in every other part of our lives. When something is really, truly important, your health, your finances, your family's future, you don't just ask for a random opinion. You go find the absolute best, most qualified expert you possibly can. And that brings us to this very famous and, frankly, very sobering statement. It says that dying without knowing the divinely appointed guide of your era is like dying in a state of ignorance. It's a powerful way of saying that this concept isn't just an optional extra. It's absolutely central to the whole journey. So we end up right back where we started, with a question. If life really is the most important journey you will ever take, with consequences that last for an eternity, the logic we've walked through today kind of forces you to ask yourself, who are you trusting to be your guide?